Welcome to the Diary of the Pan-African Preacher. There's an African proverb that says, "The wealth of the land is for the people of the land." Across our continent, the earth itself testifies to abundance. Beneath African soil lies oil, gas, gold, cobalt, and countless other resources. Yet for many people in Africa, from Lagos to Luanda, from Tripoli to Port Harcourt, the daily reality is hardship. We live in lands of wealth, while too many of our people still carry a spirit of heaviness. The prophet in the book of Isaiah speaks of God's promise to give the oil of joy for mourning. This biblical vision is not merely poetic. It is a moral and spiritual principle. God's blessings are meant to lift the burdened and restore dignity to the oppressed. Today, Africa has the opportunity to turn that scripture into policy. Africa produces roughly 7% of the world's oil, with major contributions from countries such as Nigeria, Angola, Algeria, Libya, and others. Yet, paradoxically, many Africans pay some of the highest relative costs for energy, while the wealth generated from these resources too often flows outward to multinational corporations, external markets, or fragmented national systems. It is time for a new covenant of resource stewardship. The African Union should work with the continent's oil-producing nations and the Africa Petroleum Producers Organizations to establish a binding continental pact, an agreement that transforms Africa's oil into a true oil of gladness for its people. Such a pact could rest on two simple but transformative pillars. First, a modest continental levy on exported oil. Even a small contribution per barrel could generate billions annually to strengthen the institutions of African unity. A properly funded African Union would be less dependent on external donors and better equipped to finance continental priorities such like peacekeeping, infrastructure, energy integration, environmental protection, and development initiatives envisioned in Agenda 2063. Second, a commitment that a portion of Africa's oil production be directed towards affordable energy for Africans themselves. A coordinated pricing framework could ensure that fuel and energy costs are lower within the continent than in external markets. Such a policy would support African industries, reduce the burden on households, and help ignite the engines of continental growth. This is not merely economics. It is theology in action. Scripture teaches that blessings are given not to be hoarded, but to restore community. When Africa's oil becomes a source of relief rather than resentment, when it powers Africans' homes, schools, and factories, it becomes what the prophet envisioned: oil that replaces mourning with joy. In this moment of global energy uncertainty, Africa's leaders have an opportunity to act with vision and courage. Let them turn our natural wealth into collective uplift. Let Africa's oil become Africa's oil of gladness. Ashe.